In this lesson, we'll be looking at linear relationships and focusing on the rate of change and the start value. So we're going to look at this scenario for the first several examples. Mr. Hoarder has 90 cans of fruit in his pantry, but he decides he wants to donate 6 cans of fruit to the food bank each week. So you can see to the left here, this is a table that represents the situation. If you want to look and figure out the start value from the table, it's very important that you notice that the start value is the value of y when x is 0. So in this case, y is 90 when x is 0. That means 90 is the start value. I'll just say SV for now. The rate of change, it's always what y changes by when x is changing by 1. So if we look kind of here, it's going down 6, down 6, down 6, and x is already just changing by 1 every time. So his rate of change is -6 because he's losing 6 cans every week. All right, same scenario, but this time we're going to look at how to identify these things from a graph. So when you're wanting to identify the start value from a graph, what you want to do is check out where the line crosses the y-axis. So if we have a line right here, it's crossing the y-axis. And you can see in this, it's not different than it was before because it's the same scenario. But we can see that it's crossing right here at 90. The start value is still 90. When we look at the rate of change on a graph, we're looking at the vertical change divided by the horizontal change. And you can go between consecutive points or really any 2 points if it's linear. So I just made a little mark here. So down here, if I had these marked, I could see that that goes down 6 and it goes over 1. If I divide -6 by 1, I'm getting that the rate of change is -6. And it's kind of important to know that you could actually pick other points here. Like I could have gone here to here, and just notice, oh, well, in this case, it went down 24, and it went over 4, but -24 divided by 4 is, by 4 is still -6. All right, if given an equation, same scenario, this equation could be represented y equals -6x plus 90. If we have this equation y equals mx plus b for a linear equation, the rate of change in this scenario is -6, and it's always the m in y equals mx plus b. The number that's multiplying x is your rate. Start value, this plus 90, that's the b in y equals mx plus b. That's where it's going to show up. So given that information, I want you to try a few examples kind of on your own and then check in with me. So the first one is this. Can you identify the rate of change and the start value in each of these linear relationships? Pause the video, try the problem, then check back to see if you were right. Okay, let's do the rate of change first. So the rate of change, I want to see what is y changing by when x is changing by 1. So y is going up 3 here, it's going up 3 as well. It keeps going up 3, and very conveniently, x is changing only by 1 in this case, so the rate of change is 3. For the start value, I have to look at when x is 0 and find the corresponding y value. So right here, we can notice that our start value is 2 because y equals 2 when x equals 0. Okay, take a look at this, try to figure them out, and same thing, then come back and see if you were right. All right, so I will do the rate of change again first. So rate of change, I'm going to do the vertical change divided by the horizontal change. So it's kind of nicely marked for me. It looks like it's going down 2 vertically, and it's going over 100. You have to be really paying attention to that scale. So the rate of change is -200ths, or you might say -150th, or you might say -0.02 for the rate of change. So that means that they lose 1 gallon of gas every 50 miles for this motorcycle. So it's getting pretty good gas mileage here. The start value, again, you're looking at the y-intercept where it crosses the y-axis. So right here, we can see that the start value is 5. So start value equals 5 because it's crossing at 0, 5, right? And then the equation, last one. So again, pause the video, see if you can identify these two things. All right, so when I look for the rate is my multiplier. Rate is whatever is multiplying x. So the rate equals 3.5 in this case. The start value is the b in y equals mx plus b. And the sign is important that comes along with it. So the start value equals negative 25.